people getting treatments for cancer, their immunity is suppressed. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us again on AskHowAbout. I'm your host, as usual, Pranay J. Reddy. Now, today we're going to talk about recent times. Well, other than the pandemic, things really have not been that good. I mean, there's racial tension around the world. In our own country, migrants not able to reach their homes, and Cyclone Amphan really taking a toll on West Bengal. And Mumbai might be hit with another cyclone as well. And just side note, I really don't know who's naming these cyclones. It's really hard for me to pronounce them. Anyway, so I'm not taking away from the fact that, all of this is really bad news, but we still look up, we hope for a better, we hope things will get better. But nonetheless, the thing hogging the news cycles around the clock is the coronavirus. It still is the number one news talk around the world. And the coronavirus, I have to ask you, seriously, what is your problem? Why can't you just leave us? Whose approval are you seeking? Did other little viruses pick on you hey, you ain't gonna do nothing, hey, you just a little, very bullied when you were little? Whose approval are you seeking, coronavirus? Really? I mean, here I imagine a little bit of cartoon where it'll be like, Corona see, Corona do. So while the coronavirus is hogging the news cycles completely, people are starting to forget, or rather people have not thought about this notion that there are other diseases present as well. People are still getting infected from the flu, from other parasites, and people are still dying due to them as well. And chief among them is cancer. Yeah, that's right. Now that I said cancer, you feel like, yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, that was a big deal, right? Yeah, it is. Well, according to a report released by WHO, the World Health Organization, in 2018, cancer amounts for the second largest deaths across the globe. Think about this. Let me put this in perspective. 1 out of every 6 deaths is caused by cancer. That is a huge number. So it is a huge deal, but in the past few months, this really hasn't been covered much. And the thing about cancer is, people getting treatments for cancer, their immunity is suppressed. So they are more susceptible for the coronavirus. Now, in the recent years, things have been better. There has been huge amount of research done in cancer, and the treatments have gotten tremendously better. Chief among them is nanomedicines. Nanomedicines make them more efficient, make them more better in every way possible, and they can make cancer treatment much, much better. And not just cancer treatment, nanomedicines have paved the way for better treatment across all diseases and everything. So I thought today it'd be good to take a look at cancer and also nanomedicines and the future of medicines and how that's going to pave way for it all. So today we thought we'll call on an expert on this matter, and the expert we have on today is Dr. Ashutosh Kumar. He focuses his area of research on nanomaterials. He is involved in developing many nanomedicines for cancer and arthritis, and he's involved in developing nanomedicines for better gene delivery as well. And one of his applications is also for better environmental health. He got his doctorate from the CSIR lab, Indian Institute of Toxicology and Research, Integral University, Lucknow. As of today, he has 47 publications and 16 book chapters published, and he is currently the assistant professor in Ahmedabad University. He has many awards and accolades to his name. He has won the Young Scientist Award twice, and he's also won the Young Investigator Award twice as well. Well, those are his, work titles, things everyone knows of. Well, here's a title. But you know what? If you watched the show so far, you must know what I'm going to say. So, say it with me. Here's his legendary title. So, according to legend, he is a proficient and very well-rounded person because he's an excellent volleyball and badminton player after being a scientist as well. So, to find out more about his passions on volleyball and sports in general, stay tuned till the end of this interview. Dr. Ashutosh Kumar, thank you for joining us again, and thank you for making your time to be with us. And I hope you're safe right now. I hope you and your family are doing well.
Thank you, Jadeep. Thank you, Purnay, Jadeep, and Pratyus. I think you guys are doing at least a good initiative, trying to make things in a way which is much more accessible to general public, and everybody can know, based on their interest, based on their curiosity, they are at least they can go through these kind of videos and can know about many of the pertinent issues, which is very much relevant to most of the public. Good. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, thank you for that endorsement, sir. We'll quote you on that, by the way. So, first, let's just start with before you get into cancer and nanomedicine, sir, which is of course much a topic which we can talk in detail about. Why don't we start with you, sir? You in the sense like your journey towards nanomedicines and what drove you towards it.
uh, you know uh, when I was doing my masters, I did my master in biotechnology. During the master, I joined an institution which is Central Drug Research Institution, CDRI, Lucknow, okay, for my dissertation. And at that time, I worked on tuberculosis, mycobacterium tuberculosis. And the CD, the motive for the CSIR, CDRI is all about to develop new drug. And I was working there with mycobacterium, trying to develop some kind of a screening system which can assess a drug efficacy of a drug much faster than any other traditional system. So I was working with a non-pathogenic strain of Mycobacterium smegmatis, and then any system which was working well with smegmatis, then we used to move from smegmatis to Mycobacterium RV, which is a virulent strain to human body. Uh, we worked well. We came up with a system which was commercialized by a company also. And during that time itself, it excited me. It was probably a time of 2008. And at that time, nano was coming like anything. You know, uh, Everybody was talking about nano. It is going to revolutionize things. It is going to silicon age, when everybody was talking about computer, and it was expected at that time the next is going to be a nano age, okay, where we'll see a lot of product, a lot of things related to nanotechnology, based on nanotechnology, or based on nanoparticle based consumer product. That excited me about that area, I can say. And at that time there was a lab in Lucknow itself which was working in nano. So I joined that lab, you know and everybody, at that time, once you talk about innovation, everybody thinks about developing some kind of drug, developing some kind of treatment. But the time, at that time, the question which was coming to my mind is, what is going to happen if somebody takes that nanoparticle? Okay, so what is the fate of nanoparticle in a biological system, not only onto the human body? So I thought, what is going to happen when the nanoparticle is going to interact with the bacteria? What is going to happen with when the nanoparticle is going to interact with the environmental or aquatic organism like zebrafish, tetrahymena, paramecium? How it is going to interact to the in vivo model like mice, and then finally to human body? So during my PhD, I worked with bacterial system, aquatic organism system, and with the mice model itself. That was all about the work that we did in my PhD. And later I worked on human sample, specifically with a reference to lung cancer sample, COPD patient sample, as well as the asthma samples. We used to collect the samples from the patient, and then used to grow the lymphocytes isolated from the patient, and then used to check it, the impact of nanomaterial onto these kind of patient samples. That was all about when I worked. Now, I worked on diagnostics, developing nanosensors. I worked on understanding the impact, how nanoparticle is going to behave once it is going to be released into an environmental system. I work on drug delivery system, more specific to the target based drug delivery system. This is already area where my lab as of now works.
Yes, and I'm glad to say that I've been working with Ashutosh sir for the past.
Yeah,
So
you itself work with targeted drug delivery systems. So,
yeah, exactly. So I know key applications and how well it can be used in today's world, in not just cancer, in other diseases as well. So
correct.
before get into other diseases and nanomedicines themselves, I just want to focus a little bit about cancer. Because yes, cancer, as we all know, it's because there's mutation in our body, and there's a tumorous growth of cells, uncontrollable growth of cells, which are
Correct.
ultimately becomes our dead. But is there any one cause, or rather one reason why this does happen? I wanted to ask your opinion on that.
See, in a sense, one can't say that there is one single cause which can lead to a cancer. Okay. If you think in terms of a cancer as you defined, it's a transformation of a normal cells into a tumor cells, you know, and this transformation process is actually a multi-stage process. Okay. It can happen with the multiple different factor, as you know about. There could be some physical carcinogen there, like UV ray, ionizing rays, radiations, multiple things can be. It could be chemical carcinogen, like any other carcinogenic substances. It could be asbestos. It could be tobacco, smoke. It could be aflatoxin, like a food contaminant. It could be heavy metals like arsenic, you know, and as well as the biological contaminant, like if you know, and if you see the US cases, human papillomavirus, HPV, these all are biological contaminant itself, or not just the HPV. There could be multiple different viruses, the bacteria, parasites. These all are the multiple factors which can lead to the cancer. I just don't want to say only these three factors. If you try to understand, you will find it age is also one factor, uh, which lead to the which can lead to a cancer. Okay, which can lead to actually some kind of genetic correlations which ultimately lead to cancer. Okay. Apart from this also, if you see, there, I think the lifestyle also is a responsible factor for inducing a cancer. I think if you say low nutrition, low fruit and vegetable intake, obesity and overweight, these all are also stress. Somebody, there are a lot of study that you will find that the stress is also one of the factor which is responsible for inducing cancer. You will find alcohol consumption. Now I think the way you live life, the lifestyle is also like, you can't just say that the tobacco smoking is the only factor which can induce cancer. There is a lot of it's a multi-stage process, that much I can say, and during this process, it can be because of any other factor. Multiple factors are responsible.
And I guess that's why it's not been able to come. We've not been able to come up with a cure, or rather, any one state of biological mechanism for cancer itself. So I thought, like, after so many years, yes, we've advanced our medicine, we've advanced our treatments in order to make it as much as preventable as possible, but there still isn't a cure. So your thoughts on that? Why is it not? Do you think it's possible at all in the future to have a cure for cancer?
See, one thing is, we can't predict the future for sure. There must be 100%, there will be some cure. My thought is, we need to understand first, with respect to a basic concept about the cancer. The first thing that we all need to understand, cancer is not just one disease. Okay. You can't generalize cancer like a disease. You all have a biological background. You probably will agree to this point. Even individual tumor can vary substantially from one patient to the different patient. It's a one point. The tumors of the different organ will also have a different kind of mechanism, will have a different behavior. That means what? A lung cancer of one patient can't be generalized with a lung cancer of another patient. Point one. Point number two, a lung cancer can't be generalized like a liver cancer or some other cancer. Okay, so tumor in a different patient behaves differently. Tumor type in same patient also behaves differently. So we can't generalize this like a one disease. That things probably we all need to understand. Point number one. The point number two, that my feeling is, like any other organism, like bacteria, virus, cancer cells also have a property to survive. Okay, and for that they quickly change their property. They quickly spread into the multiple parts of the body. They mutate themselves also very fast. Okay, and try to exist at that into that body. That's also we need to understand it. The other thing also, that in general, if I have to say, I can say they are more adaptive. especially when the cancer is at an advanced stage. If it can be detected at early stage, probably it can be cured, because at that time it has not been spreaded throughout your body. You can localize them well, or you can detect them well and can treat them. Okay, that's one point. But if it reach to advanced stage, it's very difficult to cure it completely. Okay, but I'm not saying it can't be, removed completely. So in cancer, I think generally a word which is getting used like a remission. Okay, a period of time when the cancer is responding to a treatment under a controlled condition. Okay, like somebody who is going through the chemotherapy, radiotherapy, or a drug based therapy, or many other types, which is surgery or any other thing. So that remission period can be, different. It could be a complete remission where somebody has been detected at early stage and has been removed. We call that complete remission, but it is not 100% sure he or she will not have the second time. It could take years to come back. Okay, in partial remission, there is chances that the recurrence will occur after few years, maybe after 6 years, 7 years, or after few months also it could be. Okay, so I think we need to understand it. The nature of this cancer is not a uniform like any other disease. Have a very variable property. It have multiple factors associated to this, depending on the surgery and at what stage it is getting happened, either the chemo or the radiation or the surgery, anything. Remission or recurrence can occur. Okay, but one thing, as a biologist or as a person working in the cancer area, can say very, point, or we can say the motive that we have, irrespective, we don't find a cure, but we probably reach to a point where we have many ways to attack a cancer cell. Okay, so that people don't die from this disease. That is what the target is, I can say. As an individual, we all try to, somebody works in area of detection at an early stage, somebody works in area of treatment at very early stage, somebody works in area in treatment at localized site. That's what, as a biologist working in this area, can say.
Well, to the person looking from the outside who's maybe not a biologist, may think, okay, we're still not making much progress because cancer is still killing people. But being a biologist, or rather seeing the system from the inside, I know that we have made a lot of advancements. Whether it be just through drugs or just through chemotherapy, we've made a lot of advancements in order to prevent as much as we can. And one of the things which has been very successful in the recent years, or rather which is looking to be taken into the future, is nanomedicine. So in terms of treatments, how much do you think nanomedicines are much more better than traditional chemotherapy?
See, the nanomedicine is just a cargo, nano, as you know about the nano, nano is nothing. It's just all about a small segment of a bulk particle. Okay, and that the nanoparticle contains a lot of unique physicochemical properties. In general, if I have to say about nano, I can say a big ball have a defined surface area, and if that big ball is going to be fragmented into multiple small ball, the surface area, if you start combining the surface area of all small balls, it will be manifold higher than the surface area of a big ball. Okay, and that surface area, in general, in when I talk to the class 6 or class 7 student, I used to say a very a simple quote. A big ball is like a big laddu. Okay, distribute it into multiple small laddu. Each laddu is made up of multiple small balls, and the surface area of total small balls combinedly will have a multi-fold size surface area of a bigger laddu. Okay, that's the unique property of a nanoparticle. You get more surface area to play. Okay, indirectly, what I mean to say, you get more surface area to trap the drug on that molecule. You get more surface area to trap a specific antibody on top of that particle which can be delivered to a target site or wherever you want to deliver. Okay. You can modify the property. There could be some drug which can't be tagged on the surface, or you want them to release in a sustained manner. So you can entrap drug into a particle like a structure, and then deliver it into a organ where it can have a sustained release. So nanomedicine 100% can contribute to the therapy, but the medicine or the nanoparticle itself will not cure the cancer. There will be some drug. The efficacy, once anybody takes a drug, it is getting circularized to, or it is getting distributed to whole body. So the effective concentration of a drug to a target site is very less. But using a nanoparticle, you can deliver the similar amount of drug to a target site. You are actually reducing the load of the drug. At the same time, you are reducing the risk of side effect. If you talk in terms of a chemotherapy, human is getting loaded with a drug, and then you get chemo. Okay, so chemo works well at the target site, but it works, or it affects your body to the non-target site also. Okay, so there is a lot of effect that people start losing, compromise their immunity, start losing their functions of their essential functions, body functions also. It's all about the side effect of the drug which was available to the non-target site. But using the nanomedicine, we can actually deliver the targeted drug or the drug to a target site. With a very lower concentration, we can get a good efficacy. These kind of expectation one can have it from nanoparticle based drug releases.
Yeah, not to cut you off, sir, but I just had one point. So you said, like you rightly said, one of the side effects of chemotherapy is it's an immunosuppressant. Like immunity is suppressed, and
Yes.
especially right now during the coronavirus
COVID.
pandemic,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, it's people who are receiving the treatment which is necessary for them. Cancer is much more deadly, and definitely the treatment is needed. So they will be immunosuppressed, and
Correct.
they're much more susceptible to coronavirus, and that is a opportunistic disease, and that will cause other opportunistic diseases as well. So do you think this nanomedicine can in fact reduce that immunosuppression by or what do you think?
See, it will not just reduce or suppress it. The point is, what my point is, nanomedicine will facilitate the entry or facilitate the delivery of the drug to the target site more more efficiently, so that the overall body functions are not going to be affected. If your body functions are not getting affected, you probably will feel healthy. uh, as of now, what is happening, the basic functions of the body is also getting hampered or getting disturbed because of that high concentration of the drug that you take to treat the tumor cells. Okay. uh, uh, if you talk about docetaxel, if you talk about doxorubicin, so these all have multiple side effects. Okay. Although these all are the drug which also cure the tumor cells also. Okay. But at the same time, you can't just it will not be only going to work to one type of cell. It will work to all type of cell. Indirectly, if I have to say, I can say, if you are going to put an atom bomb into an area, it will not only going to kill to terrorists, it will kill to the general public also. Okay. The same way, you are delivering the high efficiency based drug to human body, it will not just kill the tumor cell, it will kill to the normal cells also. And once your normal body functions are getting compromised, you are more susceptible to have many other diseases. Nanoparticle will probably deliver the same drug at a target site. Using a very low concentration of the drug, you can have the similar efficacy as compared to what you are getting in a normal drug. That
So
is the advantage.
right. So since we established they are good carriers and they make it much more efficient, so these
Correct.
must be used in other diseases as well. So
100%. Nanomedicine has been trialed well in rheumatoid arthritis and in multiple other diseases. It has been used, and using the same principle. Once you know the target site, you can tag an antibody. You can tag many other, because you know a specific disease is going to be caused because of some expression of some other kind of protein. You know, if you identify that target, you can decorate or you can functionalize your particle with anti-target molecule, so that the drug molecule or the nanoparticle which is carrying a drug molecule can directly go and can bind to that target site. You know, the most common is rheumatoid arthritis. If you see, you know, the four basic pillars, if you talk about the cancer treatment, people used to say surgery, chemo, radiation is the three major therapy, basic pillars of cancer therapy. The fourth one, which is coming at, you know, immunoliposome, you know, is where people used to work with liposome. People used to deliver the multiple other type of drugs in the form of solid lipid, in the form of PLA, in the form of, you know, PLGA based delivery systems in rheumatoid arthritis to target a specific type of cells.
So I just want to, end this interview out with one question, and this question is related to nanomedicines, not much,
Correct.
but it's related to the COVID-19 as well. So I read this term recently, nano vaccines.
Mhm.
So apparently, what it is just to give the viewers a general sense. So they take the antigens of a virus or other protein bodies of the virus, and they load it with the nanoparticles. Like, for example, in cancer, what we do is we load the nanoparticle with the drug. In this case, they load the nanoparticle with the antigen of the virus,
Antigen.
the surface epitopes of the virus. And then they give it, they inject it into our body, which makes it a much more better vaccine. So, how much do you think that can be applied to the case we are going right now? Can it be a viable vaccine? What do you think?
You know, you correctly has defined the nano vaccine. You know, the vaccine, as I said, uh, you know, either the drug molecule or the antigen has been entrapped into a particle, or
or
it has been decorated on the surface. Okay,
yeah,
uh, but the point is, till that we don't have the identified molecule for the COVID, we need to have first a defined molecule or defined target on which we can develop a vaccine. And once we develop a vaccine, then either it can be a nanoparticle based you know, a vaccine. It would be a nanoparticle based vaccine because it will have a more availability. It can easily deliver it to the mucosal cells also, and can easily, you know, function so much more. We can have vaccines related to nano, but first we need to have, or we need to well characterize the COVID. First we'll have a well characterized virus where we know things very well. Then probably the things, you know, related to vaccine and other things will come, I think. And if you talk about the vaccine and a timeline for this, I can say uh, development of a vaccine is a long term process, you know.
yeah, it is,
uh,
definitely.
I think it's too early to expect to have a vaccine. uh, First thing that we should expect, there will be some treatment. Okay, and once we'll have a treatment, then probably we can reduce the fertility as of now, at least at this case. And then probably during that time, if we can come up with a vaccine, had gone through the multiple trials at large scale and max, you know, a big population, then we can expect the delivery using the nano vaccines, you know, can be possible for these kind of diseases. But first we need to develop first basic understanding about these viruses. So too early to expect a nano based vaccines, at least for the COVID.
Well, thank you. So thank you for taking the time to do this with us. And before you go, I just have one more thing. This is not based on science or anything. It's just your passion for volleyball. So we all students, we play volleyball with you sometimes, and you are, ecstatic on the field. You know where to do what and how to play the game properly. So maybe talk about your love for the game of volleyball itself, because we see it every time we're on the court with you. So where did that
Uh,
start?
Say frankly, I have never played any game professionally at any place. I am a kind of person who just want to play just because I feel, uh, you know, sports is one thing where you use your energy in a very positive way, you know. And especially now in these kind of professional life, everybody have a lot of stress. And throughout the day, we used to have multiple different types of stress. And if your body is not physically well tired, you probably don't get good sleep. So, I play volleyball, I play very good, I'm very well in badminton. Uh,
Right, right, yeah, definitely.
okay, just, and the reason, my motive to play any game is just, I want to give 100% into that place, so that I can be maximum tired, and in the evening I will have a good sleep. That's a must. One first motive. Second, you all know I'm not a kind of person who can go into the gym, and can do some exercise, because I always think, okay, the time that I am spending in gym, probably I should spend it with my laptop. I will be more fruitful. I will, produce some better thing. Okay, so sports, I think I like. I'm feeling much more, it excites me like anything. Point number one. Point number two is, once you play, with whom you play, you are going to have a better tuning. As a faculty, or as when I was in my, uh, school time, I'm throughout my life, I studied in a boarding school. So at that time, my teacher used to play with me volleyball. But I can say during that time, also, we used to have a very good understanding with that teacher, because during the sports time, you don't realize whether somebody is your teacher and somebody is your colleague, because at that time you treat it like we are in a team, and the team is playing just because they want to play, irrespective whether they are going to win it or they are going to lose it. Okay, I think that makes a very good understanding. Okay, with whomsoever you are going to play, in my close to the area where I live, I am seeing people to play volleyball in the evening, especially in summer, from 10 o'clock in the night. They play at least for 1.5 hours. When there was no sports in my, institution, I used to go down and play with them, and probably that has also facilitated my interaction with the local people, where probably, without that game it was not possible. I think I will never go downstairs and will talk to somebody. Okay, but because of that game, probably I'm interacting with them. It's all about understanding. That's all I can say. And I just
Well,
enjoy it just because, I feel it, that gives me a good sound sleep.
well, so when we get back, once it's all over, we have to play a game of basketball because this is
100%. I have now a plan that once we are going to go back to our new building, we will be more closer to HL, where we have a indoor badminton court also. So 100% we can go there and can play.
definitely. All right, so well, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.